Were you scared? Tell me honestly.
No. Hello everyone, Tyler Gobnuke Wells here with my first official movie review! It's about time. Better late than never. Today I'm going to review the new movie, The Forest. The Forest is a horror movie directed by Jason Zada and stars Natalie Dormer, and Taylor Kinney. In The Forest, the blonde Natalie Dormer character, whose name is Sarah, travels to Japan to try and find her lost twin sister Jess, who's also played by Natalie but has black hair. That's seriously the only difference, really. But the last place that Jess was seen is known by the local Japanese residents as the Suicide Forest. So pretty much everyone has already accepted that Jess is dead and probably killed herself off. But no, Sarah is connected to her sister through identical twin cosmic powers. Sarah is convinced that Jess is alive and is determined to go and find her even if no one else is willing to help her. Cue Taylor Kinney. Taylor Kinney plays a man named Aiden who is supposedly a travel reporter from Australia who's living in Tokyo. He agrees to take Sarah into the forest with a guide as long as she supplies him with the story of her trying to find her sister. But being a horror movie called The Forest, of course, she gets lost, she gets separated, weird things happen. You get the idea for the rest of the movie. So, was The Forest any good? No. Well, was it at least scary? No. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie that fails so badly on so many levels. So I'm just going to not sugarcoat it. The biggest problem with The Forest is the same issue that so many other horror movies have, and that's we don't give two craps about the characters. You can tell that some of the actors are doing everything they can to make the most out of what's been given them, while others are just like they've accepted that's what it is and they're just going with it. So in that respect, the acting was decent, but only lacking because of the writing and directing department. There are so many things that are wrong with this film. One of them, Taylor Kinney, as I said, plays Aiden, who's supposed to be this Australian news reporter living in Tokyo, and that's why he's fluent in Japanese. Yet he has no sign of an Australian accent. I kid you not, he talks like this.
I can't let you go in by yourself. I have clearance to go in with the guard.
There is zero sign of even trying at an accent. What is interesting is, I will have to admit that it kind of felt like Jason Zada, the director, had a vision and a style, but it almost felt like he was trying to direct the movie that he wanted to make, but still had to make the movie he was given. So there are also plenty of moments in this film that it's like, what? He was just doing enough to get by, which honestly tells you a lot about how this movie went. I mean, even following in that style, this film is supposed to be a horror movie, and while I know horror movies tend to not be great all the time and they like to use jump scares, this movie was seriously jump scare rickrolling us like crazy, because it seemed like every scene was just leading up to a jump scare, and not even like a jump scare that serves a purpose other than, we scared you, but never mind, let's go back to where we were. It's like the filmmakers got bored at some point. They're like, hey, we haven't scared anybody in a while. Okay, back to where we were, because there was no point to that scare. Like, there was no suspense at all. I mean, seriously, there are so many scenes in this film that they have no weight, they have no purpose other than we gotta jump scare you. And that does nothing for the plot. It's things like this in this movie that were frustrating. It's like they were more concerned with the jump scares, because whenever a scene started to get interesting in the character development department. Yes, I know how to speak English. Most of the time. As soon as it would start to get interesting with the characters and it was starting to build up and you were like, okay, I want to know what's going to happen, it would cut to a new scene. And this happened over and over again. It was so frustrating. Whenever they had an opportunity to make a character grow, they didn't take it. And that's also part of what makes me sad about this film, is it had potential. We're talking about a real thing that happens. This Suicide Forest is actually a real place in Japan. It's called the Ignawaski. The forest is called the Aokigahara Forest, and I am so sorry if I butchered that. This film had potential to be something unique and special. We're talking about a forest where people go to die, and there's all this superstition around it that there are like demons and ghosts in it that trick you and lead you to your death. But, you know, they talk about staying on the path, or else the forest, especially if you've got sadness in you, the forest will consume you. And then this film had to turn into a psychopath movie. This film was a complete waste of time. It's just there, seriously, just to try and scare you. And for me, who's kind of a gullible person when it comes to horror movies, was not impressed. I'm one of those weirdos who found The Grudge terrifying. Now, before all you start saying I'm crazy, I found The Grudge terrifying, and I find The Forest stupid. What does that tell you? It's a waste of time. It's not poorly acted, but it's poorly written. Its director doesn't quite seem to know what kind of movie he wants to make, so he's all over the place. The story's all over the place. This film was such a waste of time. I highly recommend that you don't bother. Since I am Tyler Gobnuke Wells, the indie hat media shark, I've decided to rate my movies based on rows of teeth. The more rows of teeth, the better the movie, and it'd be out of 5. Being the first movie that I am rating with my new rating system, and granted it is January, but The Forest was a major letdown. It was worse than I had expected, and I have to give it 1 row of teeth out of 5. So there it is. There's my review on The Forest. Have you seen it? What did you think? Did you think it was as bad as I'm saying, or did you actually think it was pretty decent? So I want to hear what you guys thought. But otherwise, I hope I helped you dodge a bullet, because this film is totally worth skipping altogether. You won't remember it. I'm having trouble remembering, and I saw it an hour and a half ago, so that tells you how good it was. But anyway, I look forward to doing more movie reviews, and as well, more trailer reviews will be coming. So if you like what you're seeing here, please subscribe below and give a like. And that concludes this review. My name has been Tyler Gobnuke Wells, the Indie Hat Media Shark. And as with anything that you watch or play or get scared of, anything but watch this movie, I hope you enjoy the show. And I'll see you next time.